Some brothers will memorize the Quran, but everything that comes out of their mouth and their actions and their etiquettes and their manners is something completely different. And we're so busy pointing fingers, Akhi, we're so busy pointing fingers at sisters that come to the masjid today because they don't establish the hijab. Akhi, what about the hijab of the brothers? Yeah, man said, what? Yeah, bro, brothers have hijab too. I will tell you what your hijab is, Akhi. Your hijab is good character. That's the hijab of the brothers. Your hijab is good manners. Your hijab is good speech. Your hijab is controlling your anger. Your hijab is being obedient to Allah, Akhi. Being obedient to your neighbors, to the people you come across. Your good etiquettes, my bro, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught you. And this is the hijab of the brothers. And don't tell me otherwise. So many of us come to the masjid today, Akhi, we're busting low. Akhi, your trousers are below your bottom. What is this, Akhi? Brothers in front of us, Akhi. Brothers in front of us, their whole bum is showing, Akhi. Pull up your trousers, bro. Even the microphone had to drop on that, Akhi. Pull up your trousers, Akhi. This is not from the etiquette of a Muslim. And you wonder why you expect more from Islam. Islam is simple. And this is the... It's okay, brother. Brother's still putting up his hand up. We'll come back to you, don't worry, for Q&A. The reality is, bro, how many of you still have their mum and dad? Put your hands up if you have your mum and dad. That's nearly every single one of you here. Allahumma barik. You can put up your hand, you can put your hand down now, Allahumma barik, yeah? Let me make it something clear to every single one of you, bro. Wallahi, you don't understand what you have until it's gone. The English people have a beautiful saying. They say you don't know what you have until it's gone. Akhi, my mother's returned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let me tell you something that affected us. Myself, I must speak for myself, I can't speak for my brothers and my sisters. Something that affected my mum a lot, Akhi, is getting our doors kicked down by the police. Something that affected our mother the most was the police kicking down our door, and at the same time our enemies coming to our house. This is before we moved house. The reality is, Akhi, you chase this bad boy lifestyle by being disobedient to Allah, by being disobedient to your parents. Akhi, best believe is going to come back to bite you. We went to Denmark, Akhi, and I only came back last night. In Denmark, we found out that there is an area in Sweden, Akhi, two gangs that are fighting each other and killing each other. And you know who the two gang members are? An older brother and a little brother. Wallah al-Azim, they told us this. My brother Abdullah, my Ustad Yusuf that I hear, they told us this. They had two brothers, blood brothers, same mum and dad. Same mum and dad. They got into an argument and they both went their separate ways and they made gangs. And now both of them are killing each other, Akhi. And don't tell me astaghfirullah, because the reality is, Akhi, yes, we seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but our actions and our desires of chasing this lifestyle of being a bad boy is still there. You still want to put a knife in your brother. You still want to get a gun and shoot your brother. And this is the reality. This is what it's come down to, bro. We live in Edmonton. How many Muslim brothers have died from this community because they're riding out one another? How many of them? Too many, bro. You know the answer, so why are you chasing it, bro? Why are we taking rappers? Why are we taking musicians? Why are we taking celebrities and a waste man like Akhi Ayman as role models, bro? Why? Your role model is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The one you look up to is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The one you also look up to is people in your community that are hafid of the Quran. Your imams, the people of knowledge. And I expect every dars and every talk other than myself to be as big as this. Take your deen seriously, Akhi. Return back to Allah before you return back to Him. Return back to the house of Allah, Akhi. This is where the companions used to love to come to. Why? Because they used to see one another in the masjid. The masjid was their comfort. The masjid is where they came and forgot about the worldly desires. How many of us come to the masjid other than the Quran lesson, other than doing madrasa, other than doing Arabic lessons? Come to the masjid, bro. You got issues at home, akhi, come here. Pray your 2 rak'ah. Establish the salah. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the difference between you and the non-believer is salah. So for those of you that don't pray, akhi, let me make it clear to you, bro. I'm not here to call you a kafir. Akhi, read in between the lines. This is something that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. You neglect salah, you leave off salah, you know you're going to be judged according to what you do, bro. So why are we chasing this dunya? This dunya was designed to break your heart. This dunya was designed to break your heart, and if you attach your heart to anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will break. Akhi, I attach my heart to my mum too much, to such a level. Barakallahu feek. I attached my heart to my mother to such a level, akhi, that when my mother returned back to Allah, akhi, I was broken. I delayed the salah a bit. I couldn't function properly. I wasn't eating properly. I didn't want to see my wife or my kids. I didn't want to see my brothers or my sisters. Why? Because of that attachment that I had with my mum. And I'm not saying to you it's not good to have an attachment to your mum, but there's a limit, ya akhi. Attach your heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be content that when your mother or father or your brother or your sister or your wife or even your kids return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are content as Allah as your Lord. You are content as Islam as your religion. You are content as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm going to ask you 3 questions now, yeah? This is the question that you're going to be asked about in the grave. You don't need to put your hands up for this, my dear respected brothers. I want you to shout it out. I want this building to collapse because of the echo of what's in here through the passion that you men are going to do, yeah? Are you ready, yeah? And the question is, yeah? And I want you to answer it with your heart, not with your mouth, akhi. With the passion that comes from your heart, yeah? The first question is, who is your Lord? What is your deen? And who is your prophet? Now, I want every single one of you to answer this with your mouth closed. Answer with your mouth closed. Who is your Lord? Is my man answering through his ears? Akhi, close your mouth, my brother. Who is your Lord? Where is your deen? And who is your prophet? The humming even said Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And you obeyed your parents, then you would have answered like the first time. If you neglected Allah, you neglected His book, you neglected following the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then you will be in the grave humming while the angels are questioning you. And those humming are not going to help you, bro. Wallahi, they're not going to help you. You're going to be in tears. You're going to get tortured in your grave because your actions in this dunya spoke otherwise, akhi.